Hello, Sener.
Hi, Jerome.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation.
So we are going to discuss a bit of technology and private equity, managing private equity assets within a portfolio management system that remains quite a challenge. What are actually the pain points that wealth managers are facing when trying to consolidate these assets into broader portfolios?
Sure. It starts with getting the data from the different GPs. So the formats are, can be PDF, Excel, or different silos from the website or the email. So actually getting that data, extracting that data becomes the first challenge. Secondly, you have different formats and standards, accounting or reporting standards. This also complicates the standardization of the data. Thirdly, once you have that data, it's a manual process to standardize it and put it in the right format in the system. And the key, once you have surpassed the first three aspects, the key is have a portfolio management system who can capture it. So basically meaning, first of all, getting the data of the private equity or the venture fund. What sort of data is it? What sort of fund is it? How is the allocation? What are the underlying investments? And also displaying that, giving the fund look through, giving the information on the fund itself, being capable of getting the transaction correctly, so different capital calls, distribution types, and getting that correctly, because that eventually leads actually into the calculation of the performance, the IRR, the TRP, the TVPI. So you have the different calculations of the private equity, which then needs actually transactions to be correctly reflected to ultimately also get to the output in the PMS system.
You mentioned some of them. What are the key data today that general partners, that GPs should make available continuously to their limited partners?
Sure. They're on the one hand, the portfolio information of the underlying investments. So what sort of company it is, what the financials looking like on the portfolios they invested on the assets they invest. Then besides the financial, also what kind of accounting they have. So what is sort of the capital calls, distribution, the NAVs, update on the key figures, then also provide risk and opportunity reporting, where do they actually see the next sort of investment opportunities, and providing more holistic view, granular information on the investment, but also holistic view on the portfolio to be then captured on the wealth management side in their portfolio to be reviewed, and ultimately, ideally, having the capabilities on the wealth management side to note it in the PMS system, put the documents in there, and also look in there from a portfolio context.
We are in 2025. Why is it still so difficult to automate and standardize the acquisition of this data?
Yeah. It's a great question. I think it starts with still the silos still exist. So you still have the different silos in reporting, then lack of technological progresses on the GP level also, and not the standardizing of the reporting and technology underneath. Thirdly, on the PMS side, the providers who are out there are not capable of capturing the data correctly. So even if the wealth manager, single family offices, or the institutional clients are trying to capture the data from the GPs, then actually reflect that correctly also still a challenge in the market. And trying to overcome these challenges needs technological innovation and investments, and also keep that updated ultimately.
Within the world of private equity, we are seeing a huge rise in evergreen solutions with much more liquid structures. Do you think that these new solutions, these new formats, might be a game changer in forcing GPs to ease data acquisition and reporting?
It certainly has an element which will help with the sort of transparency and required more transparent, specifically for individual investors. The regulator de facto need these evergreen funds to be more transparent, more open. So data flow will certainly be more active. However, it's not a silver bullet. So also there, this investment still needs to happen. I think it can help from an industry standardization perspective to be more open, to provide more data on a granular basis. However, it still needs to be agreed on the formats and the technology underneath to provide this data on a regular basis, which certainly is required for evergreen funds from a regulatory perspective. And hopefully the other GPs will also catch up in this.
How will artificial intelligence help improve the situation? I'm thinking of data extraction, I'm thinking of structuring, and even predictive analysis.
Absolutely. I think there are certain elements we at Cuplix also look into deeply to ensure that we can help our clients. It starts with the data extraction. So the data can still come from different formats and different silos, but ensuring that AI recognize it and understands which type of data it is, and then actually automatically extract the data from different silos. So actually not depending on the GPs to invest in tech, but also on the LP side, helping them to extract the data. Secondly, consume the transaction type, ensure that we have the right transaction type, then automatically loading that into PMS, which is another element that actually the manual intervention which is needed today will then disappear because the AI will do that. And then basically once in a system and you have a full overview of your private equity with the calculation and the figures to ensure that you can further do deep dive analysis with AI helping you in your portfolio overall, but also specifically on your private equity investments.
Thank you, Sener. Thank you for being with us today, and thank you for making everything easier. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Appreciate it for the invite.